My greetings to everyone. I am Professor Namita Rajput in Aurobindo College, University of Delhi. In the ongoing series of entrepreneurship and venture planning, today we will be talking on the methods, approaches to the idea generation. Generating the business idea is a very crucial step for the entrepreneurs looking to create, innovate and profitable ventures. There are various methods which can really help in identifying and refine the potential business opportunity. So, we will be discussing these approaches with examples. The first and the foremost method and the approach to the idea generation is the innovation. Innovation involves creating the new ways of doing the things, leading to significant improvement in the demand and supply, and the entrepreneurs leverage the modern techniques and emerging technologies to develop the unique products, services or the business models that replace the traditional methods. The emergence of electronic banking has significantly transformed the financial industry. Instead of traditional methods like the cash transactions, the manual recording of the books, the online banking, mobile wallets, blockchain payments have revolutionized the financial transactions. There is a riddle hailing services like Uber and Ola. When you talk about the ride hailing services, what we have talked about, we have also a Blue Smart and there are many other services which are available in India. It has actually disrupted the traditional taxi industry by introducing the app-based bookings, dynamic pricing and the user-friendly interface. So, this ride hailing services and the ride hiring services have actually transformed the transport industry. And second is your brainstorming. So, these are the methods and the approaches what we are discussing to generate the business ideas. The second what we will be now talking about is the brainstorming, and definitely we have already talked about the core of the entrepreneurship and the business planning as innovation at the heart of every decision and every idea what we are generating. So, when you talk about a brainstorming, it is a group based idea generation technique which focuses on creating as many ideas as possible in the short period. The assumption is that the quantity leads to quality, as a larger pool of ideas increases the chances of finding the viable solutions. The entrepreneurs conduct brainstorming sessions to generate the multiple business opportunities and then they refine them by evaluating the risk and also the returns. Now, let us take an example here. A company looking for a new product idea for an eco-friendly brand might conduct a brainstorming session. The team members might suggest the biodegradable packaging, reusable bags, plant-based cleaning products or the solar-powered gadgets. The tech startups often conduct the brainstorming sessions to refine the business models, like as moving from a subscription based models to a freemium models to attract more users. Then, of course, hobbies as a source of ideas. Many entrepreneurs they turn their hobbies into a successful business. The passion driven business ideas they often lead to higher commitment levels and the motivation and innovation. Let's take an example here. The computer programming was as a hobby led to the creation of the Facebook by Mark Zuckerberg. A person passionate about baking may start a home based bakery and expand into an online or a retail business. The fashion enthusiastic who design the clothes as a hobby may launch their own boutique or online fashion store. The development, that is incremental improvements. The developmental focuses on improving the existing products, services or the process rather than creating the entirely new innovations. Entrepreneurs identify the areas of inefficiency or outdated systems and introduce the upgrades. For example, LCD screens replaced by non-LCD screens by offering the thinner, lighter and energy efficient displays. The electronic vehicles, that is EVs, like Tesla, improved on traditional gasoline powered cars by offering the eco level alternatives with the increased technology. The e-commerce enhancements like AI driven product recommendations have actually improved the online shopping experience. The circular response method. This method involves an open discussion whether a problem is shared within the group and each participant contributes the insights or the potential solutions. The client perception of the problem is written down and circulated among the group members who add their views. So, this process continues about 15 to 20 minutes, after which the client selects the most relevant and the feasible solution. Let's take an example here. A restaurant owner facing the declining sales may conduct a circular response sessions with the team. Now, there are some responses which might be there, like menu pricing is too high, the service speed is slow, the marketing efforts are not strong enough, and the competitors are offering a better promotion. After reviewing the responses, the owner might decide to implement the daily discounts and enhance the customer service. There are 5 whys which helps in doing the root cause analysis. The 5 whys technique is used to identify the root cause of a problem by asking why 5 times. This helps uncover the deeper issues rather than addressing only the surface level symptoms. For example, problem: we are losing the sales. Why? Because not enough customers are visiting our store. Why? Because our prices are too high. Why? Because our profit margins are high. Again, why? Because we have high overhead cost. Again, why? Because of the shrinkage, pilfering by the staff. So, what is the solution based on the root cause analysis? What we did? The business should focus on reducing the theft and controlling the expenses instead of merely lowering the prices. The possible solutions include installing the security cameras and using the RFID tags on the high value items. Then, of course, implementing the employee training and monitoring system, introducing the incentive for honest behavior and internal reporting mechanisms. The conclusion is that each of these methods play a very crucial role in identifying, refining and validating the business ideas. Entrepreneurs should select the most suitable approach based on their industry, expertise and the market conditions. Whether through innovation, brainstorming, hobby-based ventures, incremental development, group discussions or the root cause analysis, successful idea generation can actually lead to sustainable and the profitable business opportunity. Now, selection of a business idea. After generating the multiple business ideas, an entrepreneur must carefully select the most feasible ones that offers the promising opportunities. This process involves assessing the various factors to ensure the business idea is viable and sustainable. The feasible business idea must align with the entrepreneur's skill, strength, financial capacity, market demand and external environmental factors. So, here we will be discussing the deep explanation of this criteria used to evaluate and select the business idea with the relevant examples. The first is matching the strength of an entrepreneur. A business idea should align with the entrepreneur's knowledge, skills and abilities to increase the chances of success. Entrepreneurs who leverage their expertise and experience are more likely to sustain and grow their business. For example, a software engineer with expertise in the mobile app development might find it feasible to start a mobile app development company rather than a restaurant business. This technical skill, industry experience and the network in the IT sector provide them with a competitive advantage. On the other hand, an individual with strong culinary skills and hospitality experience might consider launching a cloud kitchen or a food truck instead. The second is you're matching the ability to raise the financial and the non-financial resources. An entrepreneur must assess their ability to secure both financial resources, that is, the capital loans, investments, and non financial resources such as infrastructure, raw material, and technical know how. If an entrepreneur wants to start a solar panel installation business, they need to evaluate what? Whether they can obtain funding from the banks or the investors, this is number one. And if they can assess the affordable solar panel supplies and installation equipment, whether they have the necessary technical expertise or hire the skilled workers. And if these resources are difficult to acquire, the entrepreneurs may need to reconsider the business idea or even seek an alternative option such as forming the partnership with the supplier and the investor. Then is the fitting into the cost constraints. These are the steps of selection of a business ideas. Every business has cost constraints including the startup cost, operational expenses and the cash flow requirements. An entrepreneur must evaluate whether they can afford to start and sustain the business before it becomes profitable. Like an entrepreneur who wants to start a luxury boutique hotel may realize that the cost of the land, interior decoration, the staff salaries, the operational expenses might exceed their budget. Instead, they might opt for a budget friendly homestay business which is requiring less capital and less offering and moving to steady returns. A person with a limited funds but with a passion might start an online clothing stores instead of the physical boutique to save on the rental and the inventory cost. The next is your matching customers' requirement. A business idea should cater to an identified business need or the platform. And definitely the market research helps the entrepreneurs determine whether there is a demand for the product or the service. Like if an entrepreneurs want to launch a healthy meal subscription service, they need to analyze it. And of course, there is a demand for the healthy meal plans and among the business professionals and the health conscious individuals. The target customers are willing to pay for the service. Then we have the invitation. Sometimes a business opportunity comes as an invitation from another person who either has a business idea or the financial resources but lacks the managerial or the operational expertise. In such a case, the partnership can be formed to start a business venture together. Like an example, a real estate developer might have land and the financial resources but may not know how to market or manage the properties effectively. He could invite a market expert or a hospitable professional to start a chain of holiday homes. Similarly, the Facebook was initially started by Mark Zuckerberg, but later the investors like Peter Thiel joined to scale up globally with their resources. Then we have the experience from the prior employment. Many entrepreneurs use their experience from the previous jobs to identify the gap, needs, or improvement in the industry or convert them into the opportunity. Like, for example, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak both worked on the electronics and computing while being associated with the tech firms. Jobs' experience at HP exposed him to the computers, which inspired him to start the Apple, revolutionizing the personal computing. Another example is Howard Schultz, who worked at the Starbucks before acquiring it and transforming into a global coffee chain based on the vision and experience. Obtaining rights to the profitable opportunities. The entrepreneurs sometimes choose to buy the rights of an existing profitable idea or the business rather than starting from the scratch. For example, Ray Kroc saw the potential in the small hamburger restaurant run by McDonald Brothers. He purchased the rights and scaled it globally, making McDonald's one of the most successful franchises ever. So, such rights are often acquired through the franchising, licensing, and buying the patents. Next, we have is the hobbies. Sometimes people convert their personal hobbies and passions into the profitable ventures. Like, for example, a person passionate about photography can start a photography studio for a wedding photography business. Another example is Anita Roddick's, who turned her interest into a natural beauty remedies into a successful global business, the Body Shop. Similarly, someone also who knows cooking might open a bakery or a YouTube cooking channel, which can later be turned into a full-fledged business. Then we have the social encounters. Sometimes the casual conversations and meetings with the friends or the industry professionals, they lead to the brilliant business ideas. For example, the Compaq Computers was founded when the three friends discussed the computer design during the lunch and sketched their ideas on a napkin. So that idea led to the development of portable computers, leading to the rise of Compaq. Such unplanned interactions, they often spark the unique ideas due to a blend of diverse thoughts and perspectives. Then we have pedestrian observation. Entrepreneurs who observe a day-to-day business pain points or needs of the society often come with the innovative products or the services. For example, the idea of low consumption LED bulbs come from the growing need to save energy. Entrepreneurs saw this as an opportunity and created the energy efficient lighting products. Dr. Verghese Kurian, the father of India's white revolution, noticed the problem of milk scarcity and inefficient supply. He converted this into a massive dairy cooperative movement, leading to the formation of Amul. Then we have self-employment. The people who are self-employed often look for many ways to improve the efficiency, expand their services, or meet the customer needs, leading to a new venture ideas. For example, a tax consultant, frustrated with the lengthy manual paperwork, created a software program to automate the tax calculations and the documentation. Later, this software was sold to other consultants, turning it into a full-scale business. Similarly, Wendy, the fast food chain, was started by Dave Thomas, a former KFC franchisee who saw the need for the quick service restaurant serving a high-quality burgers. Then we have a deliberate search. Aspiring entrepreneurs may go through an international and intentional research and exploration to identify the business opportunities. Now, some common approaches include the product licensing opportunities, the innovative products developed by the universities or R&D centers can be licensed by entrepreneurs. For example, the entrepreneur licensed the COVID-19 testing the kits developed by research institutes and produce them on a large scale for commercial use. Then we have the patent brokers. These brokers help in buying the patent rights, and the entrepreneurs can then produce and market the patentable products. For example, an engineer may patent a water saving irrigation system, and a business person can actually buy the patent to manufacture and to resell it. Talking to customers, distributors, and the wholesalers. By understanding their challenge, entrepreneurs can create the new products. For example, a logistic entrepreneur may discover the rural shops lack supply chain access, and he may then start a last milestone delivery startup using the local networks. Then we have franchising. Young entrepreneurs with a limited capital can enter into a business through a franchise, that is the agreement where they use the brand's name and the model. For example, franchising the Domino's Pizza and the Subway, it will allow the entrepreneurs to own a business with an established brand and the operational model. Purchasing an existing business. Sometimes people buy failing or small scale business and turn them around through a better management and the marketing. For example, an entrepreneur may purchase an old bookstore and transform it into a modern reading cafe or an online bookstore, increasing the footfall and the profitability. So, we can say that entrepreneurial opportunities are everywhere. The key lies in recognizing them, evaluating them, acting on them effectively, whether through the social interactions, prior job experience, passion, or deliberate search. Entrepreneurs must stay observant, innovative to turn their simple ideas into the successful business. Now, when you talk about a business plan, in today's dynamic and the competitive business environment, it is no longer sufficient for the entrepreneur to rely solely on the hard work and the traditional business practices. The business world is evolving very rapidly due to the technological advancements, changing the customer preferences, globalization, and the market competition. So, therefore, the entrepreneur must adapt a more structured and the strategic approach to ensure the success and sustainability of their ventures. A key component of this structured approach is the development of a business plan. Business plan acts as a roadmap, guiding the entrepreneur in managing their operations effectively and adapting to changes in the marketplace. It allows the entrepreneurs to set up the clear objectives, design the strategies, allocate the resources effectively, and also measure the progress over the time. So, we can say that business plan helps transform an idea into a viable business enterprise by providing a very clear aspects of the business. So, business plan is a very formal written document that outlines the goals of the business and the strategy for achieving them and the resources required to bring the plan to life. It is not an option or a luxury reserved only for the large corporations. It is equally essential for the small business startups and the individual entrepreneurs. According to Peirce and Robinson, a business plan is a blueprint for building and expanding the business. So, it is a written document articulating what the business opportunity is, why the opportunity exists, what strategies and action and resources are necessary to seize them, and why the new venture team has what it takes to execute the plan. So, this definition emphasizes that a business plan serves the multiple purposes. It identifies the business opportunity and explains why it is attractive. It provides a strategic framework for the action, and it also helps in acquiring and allocating the necessary resources. It outlines that the competencies of the business team responsible for executing the plan. What is the purpose and significance of a business plan? A well-structured business plan serves as a guide for the decision making and planning, a communication tool to attract the investors, lenders, or the partners, a performance monitoring tool to track the progress against the goals, and the risk management tool to anticipate the challenge and prepare the mitigation strategies. Now, what are the key elements explained? The why, the how, and when of a business plan. The why of a business plan. This section focuses on the justification of the business idea and its very potential in the market. Who will buy the venture's product? Identify the target customer or the market segments. Highlights the customer behavior, demographics, preferences, and the needs. Why will then buy the venture's products? It explains the value propositions, the unique selling products of the products or the services. It emphasizes how the product solves the problem or fulfills a need. Why will customer pay a price that ensures the profit for the entrepreneur? It demonstrates the pricing strategy aligned with the customer willingness to pay, shows the cost-effective analysis and how the product delivers the value for money. Now coming on to the how. The how of the business plan. This particular section deals with the strategies and resource planning needed to make the business required and operational. The resources required. We require the human resources, that is skilled personnel, management team, technical team, etc. The production resources, that is machinery, raw material, production technology and logistics. Managerial resources like business leadership, planning capabilities and the organizational structure. The financial resources like startup capital, operating capital, funding resources and the cash flow management. And we also need for a successful business plan about the future cost estimation. The detailed cost analysis including the fixed and the variable cost forecasting for the short term and the long term operations, the break-even analysis and the production estimation, and the when of the business plan. This particular section defines the timeline and the financial planning for the business. the timing of the key events, business launch date, product development schedule, and the market rollouts, the milestones for funding, partnership, expansion, etc. The financial projections, that is the revenue forecast, the profit and the loss projections, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. The break-even analysis, the return on investments, and the financial indicators, the scenario based for the best case, average case, and the worst case conditions. So, a business plan is more than just a document, it is the foundation of any business venture. It provides a comprehensive picture of how a business will operate, will grow, and will achieve its objectives in a very, very competitive environment. Whether it's a startup seeking funding or an established enterprise planning expansion, a business plan acts as a strategic compass that aligns the vision with the execution. So, definitely these are very, very vital points what we have discussed, and as far as the business plan is concerned, let me call it the overall conclusion of the business plan. The key elements of the business plan is why, how, and when, and the why section justifies the business idea and its potential in the market, and why will then buy the venture's product explains the value proposition and the USP of the product, that is unique selling points of the product, and why will also tell a customer a price that ensures the profits to the entrepreneur. How of a businessman will tell about deeply the resources required, that is when you talk about the production, managerial, financial, and the future cost estimation, and when is the key thing, that is when will the product be launched, that is the development schedule, the business rollouts, the milestones what they have to achieve, the return on investments, at what time they will be at a point of break even points, etc. So, overall we can say this is a very, very vital thing to grow, and at the end I would like to say, whether it is a startup seeking funding or an established entrepreneur planning expansion, a business plan acts as a strategic compass that aligns the business vision and its execution. Thank you very much.